I'm going to talk about visuals and why I think they're so important. And, sometimes I get some resistance with this topic because people are like, you don't need visuals to recover. There's a lot of people, that didn't do the visuals and they recovered, right? And that's true. It's true. You don't need visuals to fully recover, right? Technically, if you were to move to Costa Rica and you're living by the beach for 3 years straight, right, and you had a somewhat of a good routine, over time, if you're living a good life, somewhat, you would recover, right? If you don't have any stress, I'm sure you can have stress in Costa Rica, but you know what I mean. You're on the beach, you're hanging out, you're single, you got your dogs there, nobody's stressing you out. You got $1 million in the bank. Everything's taken care of. Everything's good. But you're, dysregulated. If you were to move there, right, and somebody said, here, it's all taken care of. Just go elevate, go to the beach, just do things. Just engage in life. You could recover probably within, 2 or 3 years. Right? And not need to do visuals or... I think you still need to do some minimal amount of work. Sure. You do. I think, there is still some work to be done. That's what I think. But the most of it you could do just because you moved to Costa Rica and you're engaging and you're having playtime every day, all day. You're in the beach, you're eating the fruit, you're going for walks in the mountains. For me, they're very powerful and I still use them. It's been 4.5 years and I love them. I see many people out there, even people that never dealt with mind-body issues or symptoms, that use visuals to create their reality, to create the life of abundance, right? A lot of these, there's a lot of millionaires and billionaires that talk about how visualizing every day was a powerful tool to get them to where they needed to be. So this is a powerful tool that you can use with many things. And it makes sense because you put your brain to work. You're sitting in dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. What you're doing is you're reprogramming by visualizing. You're introducing a new program with the visualizations, right? This is the reason why it's so important. And there's gurus out there that poo-poo on it, that shit all over it. Well, blah, blah, blah said they don't really approve of visuals. They don't think you need to do them. They don't really like them. They never thought. They always shit on it. They always shit on the idea of doing visuals. They always knock it. For me, visuals were very important. They still are. I love them. And I think that they were the thing that over time, bit by bit, was the thing that helped bring down the baseline over time. Because the baseline's at 1,000. Right? Which is survival. And our goal is to bring it back down to 0 to standby. Because normally, I've talked about this before. Normally what happens is, your alarm system's at 0. It sees a tiger or a liger or a bear. You got to either fight it or flee. So you decide, let's say you kill it. The baseline goes from 0 to 1,000, right? You're fighting it. You're in a battle. Your security alarm system's there to make sure it keeps you alive. So you make the decision to kill it. You killed it. It goes back down to 0. Back down to standby. It starts to get the surveillance system going to see for more danger. We're good. So it goes from 0 to 1,000, back down to 0. What, within 20 minutes? But over time, what happens with us, with the lifestyles that we live or curveballs that we get, relationships that we're in that are toxic, work environment that's toxic, right? You name it. Anything that affects you mentally or physically that you don't like or you might not be aware of, but it's just negative shit. Events, dog dying, all kinds of shit. Whatever it is, all these things slowly bring your baseline of survival up, right? Your survival starts to climb up. And if you don't pull out and you stay in that state for for years, that becomes your new program. That's your new set baseline. That's your new set program. And it's set to 1,000. Something's got to give. Body keeps a score. Symptoms are going to manifest, right? Your allostatic loads are filling up. Right? They're starting to overflow. This thing. Everything's overflowing. Symptoms are oozing out everywhere. Right? You're pulling 747s. You're suppressing emotions. It all makes sense. Our storage is full. Right? You got to empty some storage from your phone because it's not working efficiently. It's like, but it's still working. It's still keeping you alive. So once you're dealing with 75 symptoms, right? You got the OCD looping thoughts. You're in a war zone, anxiety, intrusive thoughts, phobias, PTSD, plus all the physical symptoms, right? 70 plus more. I had probably way over 70, but I could only count of, something that I could somewhat describe that added up to 70. The rest, there's no words for them, right? So you're dealing with all these symptoms. The mental alarms are going insane. You're lost at sea. You need a bit of a fucking lighthouse to bring you back. You don't know where to start. You need steps. You need a program, right? And this is where, just going living life is just not going to cut it. Because your brain's going to hijack you, right? So it's good to have steps. It's good to have a routine. And visuals is one of the big pillars out of the 9 pillars that I teach. That they're a part of the work. See, I talk about how, you have the 9 pillars, you follow them every day. But the 9 pillars, it's something that you have to do every day, and it's the work. So doing the work is things like visuals, right? Elevating. So you do right? You do each of them for 1 hour. You do your visuals for 1 hour, and you do your elevating for 1 hour. You're being aware of the old behavior patterns. You have a routine, right? There's all these different pillars that you're doing, but the visuals and the elevating, that's some of the behind the scenes work that you need to do. You got to do them every day and be consistent. It's the behind the scenes work. This is like the no exceptions. You just got to fucking do it. But I don't want to be doing this for an hour every day. That's a long time. Why do you have to do an hour? This is stupid. This is why it doesn't work, because it's ridiculous. Honestly, 1 hour is not long. This is where you have to really ask yourself, if I can't even do 1 hour of visuals, if I'm not willing to commit to do 1 hour of visuals a day, consistently, never missing a day, then you don't have what it takes to fully recover, honestly, because it takes a lot. It takes a lot of work. You got to defy gravity. You got to become an Olympian. You got to be hard on yourself, because that's the type of effort and discipline that it takes to get to the other side. Because if you're not consistent, if you don't do the work, right, you're not going to move the needle. The brain will just resort back to the old program, because it's hardwired in there. It's the main program. If you just wishy-washy, about it, you do a visual last Tuesday for 5 minutes, and today you were able to do 15 minutes. Oh my God, but it's not working. That's not going to do anything. See, you're walking up a mountain in flip-flops consistently every day to reintroduce a new program. You're leading in with a new program, and it takes work every day, right? To create those neural pathways, to make it be the main program, and to let the old program die out. Let it do its thing. It dies out, but we got this new program that we're running. But that takes work every day to build that program, to update that software. Not like a computer where you put that software in, updates, done. No, we're biological. We're a little different. It takes time and effort pulling up that 747 up the mountain slowly over time. It becomes your new program. It's a lot of effort, a lot of work. And that's why visuals are so powerful, because it's an extra tool that you're doing for an hour where you're sitting in dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins for 1 hour a day, times 365 days a year, times 3 years for me. That's a lot of hours. Accumulatively, that add up, that help bring that baseline down. Maybe that one day it might have not much. You don't see much improvement. You don't see much change. The needle doesn't. You can't see the needle move. But you multiply that by how many hours is that? That's about 1,100 hours. 1,000 hours of sitting there, having a meeting with yourself, feeling the feelings, and escaping with your visuals. Right? I've done about almost 4.5 years. So that's a lot more hours. But that's what it takes to make a difference, to change that program. And then accumulatively, it holds a huge weight on the work that you did and the changes that you made. Pair that together with the elevating 1 hour a day, right? Having playtime, raising your vibration, raising your mood, elevating, right? When we do that for 1 hour a day, same thing. 1 hour a day times 365 times, for me, 3 years. That's another 1,000 of, 100 hours of sitting in dose, elevating, having a good time. Put those together, pair them up, you're sitting at 2,200 hours of sending a crazy message of party safety and happiness, smiling like a crazy person, right? That's gonna impact the program. It has to. That's a guaranteed change that's gonna happen. The brain has no fucking choice. You're bombarding it with change, right? You're like, we're updating, buddy. You have no choice. The brain's like, okay, fuck, we're updating, fuck it. I don't like it, but I have to adapt and change. Here comes a new program. Right? Update, the alarm system's updated. That's the behind the scenes work that you have to put in every day, right? That's what I did every day, plus the other pillars, right? Every day. And the reason why it's an hour, just think of it this way. In the beginning, when you're doing the work, visuals are having hardly any impact, right? You're just flopping all over the place. It sucks. You can't, and you're not enjoying them. You can barely do them. Your gate is closed. The brain doesn't want you to sit there and think about pleasurable things that make you sit and dose. No, you're in a hardwired survival state at 1,000. You're in a fucking war zone. The last thing the brain wants you to do is think about pussycats and fucking rainbows. It wants you to get your attention. It's like, over here, buddy. Over here, we got a liger. Liger, pay attention. Fuck that. No. Fuck that visual. Fuck that beach. We don't care about that. Focus. I need you to think about this danger here. I'm going to slap you in the face with all your fears, your deepest fears, to get your attention, because that's my job. I'm going to do my job. I don't care if you suffer. But my job is to keep you alive. And we're running a survival state because you're still at 1,000. So we got alarms kicking everywhere, mental and physical alarms. And my job is to get your attention, to make sure that you know, hey, we're in danger, buddy. What are you doing? Trying to get into a visual. So yeah, at the beginning, it's going to suck. You're going to be hard. You're going to be shitty at them. You're not going to be good at them. You're not going to enjoy them. Just like when you dance and you elevate. You're not going to like it. You're going to feel like crying. You're going to feel like puking, or you're going to feel like ruminating on your thoughts, right? But you got to smile like a crazy person. Do it anyway. And that's why it takes an hour, because for that hour, it's like riding a bike and falling off over and over and over again. For the first bunch of months, you're going to be horrible at doing this. But we're working that muscle, and we're slowly bringing that baseline down little bit by little bit, right? That gate's going to open. There's going to be a point where you're going to actually flow with your visuals. You're going to actually enjoy them. You're going to actually feel good when you do them. And you're going to start working that spiritual muscle. And you're going to start getting the downloads, right? Golden nuggets of clarity where you're like, yes, that makes sense. Synchronicities. I love this. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right? Golden nuggets of clarity that help you along your path. Information that gets downloaded that you're like, okay, finally, I'm connecting with this information. I know now. I have a knowing. I know what I'm. Thank you, guides. Thank you for guiding me. I needed that. When before you were blocked off because you were in a survival state. You weren't getting the downloads. You weren't tapping into that consciousness Wi-Fi. And that's why it takes an hour. Because for the first 6 months, you're going to be failing for the most of that hour. It takes time to learn. It takes time to get your mind online so you're in tune. It takes time for you to be able to do the visuals. So you got to fail. You got to fail every day. Honestly, every day when I did visuals, I probably had, for me, I know some people are worse, but for me, I might have had 10 good minutes of actual visuals. And this is me being prepared, right? I had my notebook full of examples of visual ideas. I would just pick one and go. So I wouldn't waste any time. They were all sitting there, 50 of them. I got the past memories. I got future. I'm like, boom, let's go. Right? And I would struggle because my brain is hijacking me, ruminating thoughts, right? Constantly ruminating thoughts, pulling my attention away from the... But yeah, that happens. That's a part of it. Don't forget, visuals are also important because they're another form of exposure. Because the brain is going to take this as an opportunity to throw all the bullshit at you while you're doing the visuals, right? The visuals are going to remind you of the things that you used to do that you don't do now. The visuals are going to remind you of what you'll never do in the future, right? You're not going to feel good doing the visuals in the beginning. It's going to suck. You're going to hate it because it's going to remind you of all the things that you're afraid of. All your fears, all your doubts are going to be screaming at you in the face while you do your visuals. Yes, but these are opportunities. It's a form of exposure. Keep doing the visuals anyway. Allow those thoughts to be there. Agree with them. Go, yeah, Limby, yeah, I know I used to be able to run 10 kilometers and now I can't. And I'm sick. Yeah, I know, Limby, that I can't have visuals of the future of living in a beautiful home on the West Coast and having a business because I will be on disability for the rest of my life and that I will never get out of this. So why am I even thinking about the future? Why am I even dreaming? Yes, I know. You know what? You're probably right. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to take away the resistance. But guess what? We're going to engage. We're going to keep thinking about the future anyway. Right? We're going to take away the resistance. We're going to agree with it, but we're going to continue. It's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to hate it. In both scenarios, right? When you do past and then future visuals, either way, it's going to feel like resistance. This whole journey is resistance. But keep going. There are opportunities to allow those thoughts to be there, those alarms to show their face. You're going to let them do their thing. And eventually, with that exposure, you're going to neutralize these thoughts and feelings. These alarms will turn off. Boom, boom, boom. And you'll become indifferent to them. They will have no more effect on you. It'll stop bugging you. And then you'll get to a point where you actually have freedom with your visuals. Where when you're thinking about something in the past, you'll actually feel good. When you're thinking about something in the future or something that you're going to do, the brain's not going to cock block you and go, no, 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 that won't happen. Doubt, doubt, doubt. You're going to actually be able to sit there and go, yeah, that's going to happen. And I know it is. I have a knowing and it feels good. I'm allowed to feel good about it without the brain telling me no, no, no. So the visuals have a lot of things, doing visuals, it has a lot of things that it does. It sends a message of safety. It updates the program. It's a form of exposure, right? You can also use it to get golden nuggets of clarity with the downloads. It's also a powerful tool to manifest and create the life that you want in the future. This isn't woo-woo. This is real shit. It does all these things. So why do you think, especially coming from a guy that had over 75 symptoms and more, right, who used visuals every day to fully recover, don't you think that's something that you should take serious? That actually there is something to this shit? That it's legit? That it's going to change your life? And yeah, just because you can't do them right now, have patience, do them anyway. You can actually move some of the time that you put in visuals and put them into your elevating. So you're doing it, let's say, an hour and 45 minutes of elevating and only 15 minutes of visuals, but you're still doing the visuals. And eventually when the baseline comes down slowly, right, because you're doing an hour and 45 now of elevating, you're still doing the work, you're still making changes, baseline's coming down, then you try again. You're like, let's put that hour back to where it was. Let's leave that hour with the elevating, right? Let's get back into the visuals. Let's work that muscle. It's actually getting a little easier. That gate's open now. Interesting. So you can do that as well. Also, I did more than just 1 hour of visuals every day, because I used to go for 2 or 3 hour walks, and I used to do walk and talks. So my 1 hour of visuals was where I was really serious, and I was really having a meeting with myself, getting organized, feeling the feelings, right? I had my little journal where I would express and draw, make calculations, right? Because I would speak it into my phone. I would take my book, get a marker, red pen, blue pen, where I'd be like, yeah, it's going to be the West Coast. It's going to be beautiful coastline. Nah, and actually I don't like coastline. It's going to be like mountains, lakes, rivers. Yeah, you're drawing it. You're like, oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's totally what I wanted. Oh, I love it. You're drawing little pictures, doing little calculations. It's helping you express what you're feeling up there, making it more real, right? It's not like you're journaling. You're not going, Dear John. It's not like you're journaling going, and you get a cramp in your hand. No. None of that shit. It's just a little bit. A couple of sketches. Give it a little color. Put a little bit of orange in there. Right? And you're like, yeah. And then we're going to, oh my God. And then there's going to be, I'm going to have an RV. And an RV, you draw a little picture of the RV, the road, the mountain that's there with the sun, with the smiley face, right? This is how you get the juices flowing, right? You fully get the juices flowing. And it's like you're there. And eventually, it'll be very easy to get there. Right? So think about that. You're doing your walk and talks. You could be talking about anything, what you're going to do that day. Right? You could be talking about changing a tire. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you're sending a message of safety. You're not talking about symptoms. You're engaging in your thoughts and getting excited what you're going to do that day. You're going for a 2-hour walk, plus you're doing your hour of visuals, plus you're doing hour of elevating. Right? This is the work. Your brain's going to have no choice but to change. Do you see how that works? So when you have gurus, some of these gurus out there, some of these TMS gurus out there, poo-pooing on this shit, you got to ask yourself, are they going through have they ever went through what I'm going through right now? Right? Do they understand? No, they don't get it. They have no clue. Right? And there are people out there that fully recovered without doing the visuals. But you know what? Most of the people that have made massive changes that I've talked to, that I've known, used visuals. And most of those people still do them just like I do. It's become a lifestyle. I'm maintaining my health. I'm able to move with, I'm maintaining it's become a lifestyle now, right? I'm doing my visuals still. And it helps with health. Of course, I'm still, before I was using it mostly to get back to having some sanity and order in my life and be symptom free. But now I use it for everything. You could use these visuals for obviously business, relationships, certain situations, manifesting, right? This could also be a spiritual thing that you do every day when you want to be in tune with your higher self. Because it's the mind, body, and spirit. It's a trifecta, right? We're doing the whole shebang. We're not just doing eat. We're doing chinch, the whole package. So you could use it for business, relationships, manifesting, right? And also, when you have, because life's going to keep throwing you curveballs. Now, when what we've learned going through this journey, we're using it for other parts in our lives. You're able to take a situation that falls in your lap that you don't like, that's, a shitty situation. You're able to allow it, let it do its thing, move with it, and actually have it work in your favor. It's like you're learning how to manipulate energy. And that's powerful. So it's not supposed to be something that you dread doing for an hour every day and going, oh man, I don't want to, right? It's not supposed to be like that. In the beginning, it's like that. Because you're doing work, it's hard. But eventually, if you stick to it, you're going to really enjoy it. you're never going to want to ever not do it, right? It's going to be a part of your lifestyle. I can't wait to do my visuals in the morning, right? I can't wait to go for my walks. I can't wait to do my elevating. And it's not a burden. It's not a, fuck, I got to do the work. It's more like, I can't wait.